I have a little reminder on my calendar to start each week with kindness, with grace, and to focus on relationships. And that's incredibly important to me as a leader within our department and within our city, but then also as a leader within the community. Let's give each other a little bit of grace, including myself. I make mistakes, other people make mistakes, and I hope that we can live in a gracious world where, we can solve problems together. My father, who to this day, I don't think he would ever describe himself as a feminist, but he absolutely is. I remember running for class officer positions in fifth grade, and I told my father that I wanted to be secretary. And I remember in fifth grade, him becoming incredibly upset with me that I wanted to be secretary and not president. He saw greater potential in me than I saw in myself. Capitol Hill, the actual staff that does the work, they are very young professionals. And as a young woman, what I realized while working on Capitol Hill was how important my voice was. I learned how to navigate walking into a room of perhaps senators or representatives who are oftentimes older than their staffers and being able to command the room with information. And in my current role, my job is managing communications, government relations, and our relationship with residents and constituents around Central Ohio. So the first half of 2020 was certainly a overwhelming, exciting, exhausting, exhilarating, fill in the blank adjective experience. One more layer of complication, I was pregnant at the time. I was also the person who was doing live interviews with press locally at our parks to help inform residents what's going on. And as a mom, our daycares were closed. I was bringing my 3-year-old as my production assistant to these interviews. She started to call our closest park to our house mommy's remote office because I would pack her up in the car or walk with her to get over there, me with my 3-year-old, my pregnant self, trying to explain, please wear your mask. Yes, our parks are open. And I learned a lot of lessons about how to effectively communicate with others on a variety of levels. I think for many women, you might look through social media or look on the news and go, wow, these people really have it together. But there were plenty of moments throughout the last year where I just broke down and cried because I was exhausted. My house was an absolute disaster because I didn't have the energy, nor did my husband, to try to put things back together. Yeah, I give myself grace and knowing that there's another day tomorrow and hopefully, I'll get my goals done and I'll try again. We as a country and as community members and even as leaders can take away from what we've learned from 2020 and the pandemic is the need for, one, a workplace culture that supports working families, that has flexible hours, or where you can work from remote locations, or where you're measured on not just showing up for work, but actually getting your job done, knowing that you also carry, every individual, whether you're male or female, carries multiple responsibilities to care for other individuals in your household. If anything else comes out of the pandemic is the argument for paid leave. I don't think that paid leave was one of those things that I thought about before having a child and what that would entail. I can't even comprehend the struggles that women have to go through who are pregnant, who do not have paid leave for sick time or for their pregnancy, just because someone identifies as a woman. That as a woman, that doesn't mean that our shared experiences are identical. Your access to wealth and capital, even as white women, might be different, or your religious perspective might be different. And as an African-American woman, although I am Black, I am a first-generation American, and that I am coming from a very different lens than perhaps an individual who is Black and female, whose family has been in the United States for a very long time. So I think that that's the first step, just acknowledging that as a gender equity advocate, every woman in the room has a very different experience, and that we need to make space to understand and appreciate the differences that lie in that room.